What do you do when the thing that you didn't ask for happens in your life in the shifting seasons?
You can find yourself stressed out. You can find yourself depressed, mentally fragile because of the experiences, the turbulence that you have gone through.
Setbacks will happen, and when they do, it's okay to get depressed, it's okay to cry, it's okay to go home, but eventually you have to get over it and move on. The greatest people who've ever walked this planet constantly had setbacks in life and failures. Constantly.
And most people stop at failure. We've all failed at things. It's the most powerful tool you can use, but it all depends on how you use it.
There is a blessing in everything. Behind every moment of adversity in your life, there is a blessing and a lesson. Every moment of adversity has those two things. Pain always leaves a gift. Always.
The depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success.
You're supposed to react, you're supposed to respond, you're supposed to be down for a quick minute, but you get back up. You don't stop.
You keep standing. No matter how rough the sea, you keep standing. No matter what, you don't give up.
It takes a lot of guts to pick yourself up when you experience setbacks and people don't see the vision. And you might lose your job. It takes a lot of guts. You don't have nothing but lint in the corner of your pocket. You're out there talking about living your dream. And people laughing at you. And they're doubting you. People are going to think you're crazy. And sometimes you're going to think you're crazy. You're going to question yourself. It takes guts, ladies and gentlemen. No guts, no glory. Most people, when they hear no or they're rejected, it takes their power away. And they become discouraged. They lose their spirit. They lose their energy. They stop. No. When you're facing those rejections day in and day out, don't say, I had a bad day today. Say, I had a character building day. What did you learn? What did you get out of that day? When you get knocked down, and you're going to get knocked down, when you run into some roadblocks, and you're going to run into them, when you have some setbacks, you can always be able to bring yourself back in, knowing if someone has done it, it's possible that I can do it. You've got to be willing to face rejection and no again and again and again, defeat again and again and again, and every time life knocks you down, you jump up and say, it's not over until I win. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or cold, sickness or pain, a body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it.
Let's say you're scrolling through Facebook and oh look, another shocking headline. So shocking that it must be false. But this time, it kind of looks true. You're not alone if you've had this dilemma. Here's how to spot fake or misleading information online. For posts that link to a website, first check what the website's domain is. .edu and .gov are generally considered to be trustworthy. When it comes to news articles, check what news outlet the information is coming from. Is it from a well-known and trustworthy source? If you're skeptical, the easiest thing to do is search for the same story elsewhere. If other reputable outlets have covered it, the story is more reliable. Oh, but please don't forget, The Onion is satire. When vetting posts, it's also important to check the date that the article or tweet was first published. Headlines can sometimes appear to be relevant, but the actual story or tweet is outdated or out of context, and therefore misleading. For posts by individual users, look to see if that user has a blue checkmark next to their name. The checkmark means that Facebook and Twitter have verified the account is run by a real person or organization that matches the username. Verified checkmarks shouldn't be your sole indication that the information is accurate. It's important to combine all these steps together to be able to make the best judgment. And lastly, if you're unsure about information you see on your social media, at the very least, don't repost it. Sharing information that you can't confirm is true will only make you part of the problem.
5 years ago, Advanced Micro Devices was in trouble.
Ooh, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, very painful day for this stock.
AMD it's still just surviving, but
yeah, surviving.
Not by a lot.
The chipmaker was bleeding money, drowning in debt, facing a possible bankruptcy, and its stock was trading around $2 a share. Lisa Su then became the company's first female CEO, faced with leading a daunting turnaround.
I was really excited to become CEO, but of course, a little bit scared like anyone taking on a new job.
After getting a doctorate in engineering at MIT and nearly 2 decades in the semiconductor industry, Sue was ready for the challenge. She laid out a plan to focus on microchips for gaming consoles, data centers, and platforms like virtual reality.
The most important thing for us as we thought about what AMD would look like back in 2014 is what are we good at? And what we are good at is making high performance microprocessors. And that meant actually saying that we weren't going to do some things. At the time, mobile was a very, very exciting field, but it wasn't what we were fundamentally good at. And so we really focused on our core. And I know that sounds simple, but actually it takes a long time to build a sustainable product roadmap.
That's the thing about the semiconductor industry. Developing a new product takes years. AMD bet that the products it was developing today would be a hit with customers years down the road.
The first and probably the biggest bet is on the future generation of data centers. So it has room for 2 of our servers. We're all generating tons and tons of data every day. Like from all of your devices, we have all of this data. And the truth is, we're actually using just a fraction of it because we don't have enough computing to process all of this. And so we are building the largest and most powerful computers to really process all of that data and make sure that we're making good decisions. And on the other end of this spectrum, we're also very, very heavy into gaming. We cover every aspect of gaming, from PCs to game consoles to cloud gaming. The most important thing for us in selecting, where do we target our products is where do we see the market going. We honestly have to look 5 years out and say, what does the world need from tech in that time frame?
It's a long process and it's a long design cycle, so it takes a lot of anticipation and it takes a lot of skill to hit that mark 5 years before you even know what the market will look like. You have to anticipate that. AMD is in a position right now where it's done a very good job of anticipating where it had to be in performance in competition with Intel and NVIDIA.
Sue's bets have paid off. AMD has taken market share from its top rival Intel, and it's been the top performing stock on the S&P 500 for the last 2 years.
It's a very competitive space. It's a very high stakes, high reward place, and our goal is to continue to make the right bets year after year. So I'm very proud of what we've done over the last 5 years, but I would also say we're just at the very, very beginning of what we can do, and the next 5 years will be more exciting than the last 5.